like these bitches count up a check in a white tee. Bitch, I'm road running. I don't give a fuck who beside me. Still the coldest bitch. It don't even matter who bite me. Weak assholes. Toe Tate, I smack a bitch face off.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be doing a soft glam look for you guys. So here I started by prepping my eyelids with my Makeup Forever HD concealer, and I do use the shade 45. I am using a Morphe M504 brush to blend this out. Starting with the eyes, I am going to be using my Morphe 3503 Fierce by Nature palette, and this brown that I'm using does show up darker on the eye than it did in the palette, so be careful with that. But I'm just going to be using another Morphe brush to blend this onto my eyelid, and this is just going to be my transition shade to prep for the rest of the colors that I'm going to be using. Okay, so the next color, I had decided that I was going to go in with a mix of those two that I just pointed out. But once I actually put it on the eye, it looked a little purple instead of dark brown. And I was going for a dark brown shade. So we changed our mind about that and picked up our Jaclyn Hill palette and went in with a dark brown shade. And I also changed out my brush to apply this with. And this brush did make it come out like how I wanted it. Now this brush I cannot give y'all the name of, I'm sorry, because it came out of a set of eyeshadow brushes that I picked up from TJ Maxx one day, and I have no clue where the box is or where anything is that could tell me the name of this brush. So I just kept on building up that shade until it got to my liking, and then I went back in with that same Morphe brush with my transition shade on it to blend it out. I am now using a Vanity Planet concealer brush, and I'm just tapping very lightly onto my lid with the concealer that was left over from when I did my eyebrows. I'm not really trying to make a perfect cut crease or anything. I'm just putting it on there so that the shadow can show up nicely. I am going to be taking this light shade out of my Morphe 3503 palette, and I'm just going to tap that right onto the concealer. Now I did not let this one sit and try to dry, but you're going to see that I tried to let the other eye sit before I applied it, but I do recommend just going ahead and applying the shadow right after you put the concealer on. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to the opposite eye, and I'll be back in to talk to y'all when I start to blend everything out. So if you sit and let it dry, you can tell that it does make the color show up a lot better, but I still prefer not letting it dry. But here I'm just going back in with that dark brown shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm just blending out those harsh lines from the cut crease. So I'm going to be moving on to my actual face application, and I'm going to be starting out by priming my face with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. So I finally got my hands on the new Fenty Foundation. Y'all, I know it took me forever, but if y'all have been watching my videos, y'all know that every time I went to Sephora, they never had my shade. But this time they had it, and I am definitely pleased with the way that it came out. So while I was in Sephora, I also decided to pick up the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, but it did not show up like how I thought it would when I got home. It was way too dark, maybe even darker than my actual foundation shade. So we're going to take that back, and I just stuck with my LA Girl Pro Concealer, and I am in the shade Fawn. Before blending out my highlight, I do let it sit just a little bit and let it get tacky just so that it can be a little bit more full coverage. So you guys are going to see me picking up my foundation brush and going back around the edges where I put my concealer just to blend it out. Once I have everything blended all together, I'm just going to go in and go ahead and set with my Laura Mercier powder, which I mixed up with the Makeup Revolution terracotta powder to make it the perfect banana for my skin tone. I usually don't put powder right here up under my contour, but I think I'm going to start doing that more often. For my contour, I don't use a cream contour, I use powder, and I am using the Morphe Bronzer in the shade Showmance. It basically is a bronzer and a contour in one. I just mix both together and apply it to my face. When contouring my nose, I'm going to start out at the top using that same brush that I actually used on my eyes. And I'm basically just going to make it very dark from my eyebrows into my nose to make it look very subtle. Once I have the structure in place, that's when I'm going to actually go in with a smaller brush. This is an e.l.f. brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and contour all the way down the nose. I went back in and dusted away the powder that I had applied on top of my nose, and then I'm just going to blend out that harsh line from the smaller brush with another e.l.f. blending brush. Moving back into the eyes, I am going to go ahead and just smudge out that black eyeliner that I applied off camera with that dark brown that I applied previously on top of my eyelid. I'm going to go ahead and set my face with the Morphe setting spray. That is the only setting spray that I ever use, and I did get some in my eye. And I don't know like if they have it like prone to eyes or something, but it did not burn at all. So we're going to let that dry, and then I'm going to go in with my highlighter, which is Hustle Baby by Fenty Beauty. Okay, now this last part is very hilarious because y'all see that I still have some lash extensions on this eye, and then the other eye is bare. So I just had to put on some lashes. I actually ended up cutting the lashes, and they actually came out cute. So kudos to me for cutting them because they was just way too wild. Moving on to lips, I'm actually going to be lining my lips with NYX Espresso, and then I'm going to be kind of filling in my lip a little bit with another lip pencil by NYX called Nude Truffle. For my lippy, I went in with the Makeup Revolution in the shade Darling, and it's number 122. I definitely did not know that I had the wrap that tight to where it could make a whole line on my forehead. Like, no ma'am. I was really stalling putting these lashes on because, like I told y'all, I'm not really into these kind of lashes no more. But I just had to do what I had to do. The eye with the lash extension still holding on. I did go back and put some mascara on them just because the makeup hadn't got into them and I wanted it to blend in. That is all for this look. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I won't be doing vlogmas, but I will be uploading a lot more this month. So make sure that you guys subscribe so that you'll be notified whenever I upload another video. Bye, babes.